In this tutorial, we'll be learning the proper and the perfect way to pad your princess dart bustier. So we're going to be using this fabric and then we'll be using this breast pad. This is the softest wadding that has gum on one side of it. In my case, I already added interfacing. I added stay to my fabric because the scrap I'm using is a little bit stretchy. If your fabric is not stretchy, you don't necessarily have to add any interfacing. So what I will do is I'm going to be cutting out my breast part first before gumming it on the fabric. Then I already made a detailed video on how I drafted this princess dart bustier, the pattern drafting and then the transferring to the fabric and cutting out and all of that. I already made a detailed video on that and then I uploaded it. It should be the first, like the video before this particular one you're watching. If you're interested in seeing that, in case you don't know how to draft and cut a princess dart bustier with yoke, I have a detailed video on that. I'll be putting the link up and also in the description box below, but it is just a video before this particular one you're watching. You should go back to watching it when you are done watching this one you are currently watching. So the first thing I will do is to mark where I want my breast pad to be on my fabric, which is what I'm doing. Your breast pad should not be longer than at most 1 inch from the under bust. It should not be longer than 1 inch from the under bust. And at the upper part, you mark 1 inch upward. So I did all of my marking. It's now time to cut out my breast pad or wadding, however way you cut it. And you know that this breast pad has a sticky face. That face that has gum on it is the sticky face. So I placed my fabric on the breast pad and then I traced it out. You remember that I said that on the neckline I'm going to deduct 1 inch and then cut that out. Like the breast pad is 1 inch shorter than the neckline of my princess dart bustier. That is it for the center. This piece we are currently cutting is for the middle center front, and this breast pad that I'm using is the softest breast pad. So I added breast pad to the main fabric and to the lining as well. That is why I'm cutting to. If you are using a very strong breast pad or a very thick breast pad, you don't have to cut two. You don't have to add breast pad to the lining. You can just add an interfacing, but in my case I added breast pad to the lining as well. That was why I cut out two pieces. Now for the sides, I just, I already did my marking on my fabric, so I traced that out on the breast pad. You remember I said I'm going to be padding the main fabric and the lining, so I cut four, two for each side of the side. Hope what I'm saying is clear. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a detailed video on how I drafted out this princess dart bustier and how I cut it out. The video is just the video before this one, and you can just check out description box for the link to it. So I'm just going to leave you to enjoy the rest of this video because I can see that this particular video is so self-explanatory. Then if the fabric that you are working on is a fabric that can easily get stained just like mine, I would suggest that you place a plain fabric like a white lining, a white cotton lining on your fabric before you start pressing, like before you place your iron on it, so that your fabric doesn't get stained. So when I was done adding the breast pad, when I was done gumming the breast pad on mine, I proceeded to joining the three pieces together, and here is the outcome of mine. You can see that the cup came out so well, like the cup came out perfectly, and the way you pad your breast pad is what contributes to how well your cup comes out. It is not the only factor, but it is a big factor, like a major factor that determines how well your cup is going to come out. So, like I said, it is not the only factor. Another major factor is how you cut it, how you draft it out, and how you cut it. And if you need to watch a video on how to draft and cut a princess that bustier, I have a detailed video on that. It's just the video before this particular one that you are currently watching. When you are done watching this, you should go back and watch that one. The link will also be in the description box below. And here is the lining. Even the lining is coming out very well. Like the lining came out very, very well. And at this point, I've not even pressed the lining. I've not pressed the main fabric. I just finished joining. I've not pressed. Imagine when I now press this. This is the outcome when I was done pressing. I pressed it with water, and the joining, I opened it, like I opened the joining before pressing. I didn't just press, and I pressed on that ball that you press your breast pad on. I hope what I'm trying to say is clear. And here is the outcome when I attached the yoke to it. If you need to see a video of how I cut this, like I said, the link is down below. The link is down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. In case you have any question, don't forget to ask me in the comment section. If you've not subscribed, kindly do, and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next time I upload new video on this channel. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.